Everything I'm hearing, dude, they're trying to fucking.
Whoa. Well, we are live here. Welcome to another edition of the Worst Case Scenario podcast. I am your host, Phil. With me is your host, Bennett.
What up? What up?
And we got D-Lo at Parts Unknown. Say what up, D-Lo.
Yo, yo.
And we are here to do a little Week 6 review and a little Week 7 preview. And just to let you guys know, we are starting a little side podcast still here on the Worst Case Scenario brand, but it's going to be called Jet Up, Bear Down podcast, where we will focus exclusively on the Bears and the Jets. We just feel sometimes we talk too much about them here, and so we just decided to take this and talk about them elsewhere. And we're still going to talk about our teams on here, but we're going to try to save a lot of it for that one. So,
well, also on that, if like Chad decides to join us in the chat and he has questions and stuff, we'd be happy to answer on that. We're just trying to cut the time down on this particular segment that we do here. So
I'll have to let Chad know too. Next time he's driving, if he would like to join in, I can send him the link and he could call in and he could talk with us on his way home real quick.
That'd be awesome.
Or whatever.
That'd be awesome.
So
yeah, for sure, man. And
we'll have to plan it out.
Maybe we can kick up a little political podcast and have John join us from the road. I'm sure he'd be happy to do that as well.
He does a lot of driving. He does do a lot of driving though for his job. So yeah, I mean that'd be cool. And other people, we could have them call in and add them real quick and do something like that. So,
I mean, as long as the Colonel don't join, we're good.
I don't even know who the Colonel is.
I do. I appreciate his opinion.
All right. Anything you guys want to add before we get going on game one?
No, let's roll.
All right.
It was just a crazy week of football, man. Already some trades have happened. Looks like the trade deadline's heating up, boys. So, also, Aiden Hutchinson out for the season. That's a huge loss right there, man, for the Lions.
The coach would not say that he was out for the season. As incredibly crazy as that sounds, the coach said
he broke his tibia and his fibula or whatever. Like they said, it was.
Go and read the story on ESPN.com. The coach would not rule him out for the rest of the season. So I don't know.
Like we're gonna carry. They're like we're gonna carry him down the field like Cordell Stewart. You know what I'm saying? So.
I mean, Aiden Hutchinson's a bad man. I mean, with him with some broken bones, he might still be better than a backup.
Yeah, that defense is going to take a hit without him because he did lead the league with 7.5 sacks when he went out.
So he's a monster.
Right behind him is Will McDonald, the fourth from the Jets.
You think he could still sack somebody on some nubs? I do. I think he totally gets some sacks on some nubs.
D-Lo, when he said all I could think of was that dude from the Wrestling Show. That's all I could think of. Lieutenant Dan.
Also, another crazy thing, Nick Chubb is set to make his return this week after his second major knee injury, dude. That's it's crazy.
Put out a major statement thanking the city of Cleveland, apologizing for his actions, the team, telling him it was very motivational, whatever that was, tweet that he sent out. But yeah, he sounds like he's ready to go.
Yeah,
they need.
Well, I mean, they need it. They need him bad. Yeah, man. So,
all right.
Let's see if he's still got the same burst. Let's go.
All right, we're going to start off with the 49ers. They traveled to the Seahawks and got a 36-24 victory. Any thoughts on this game, guys?
It went as expected. Seattle put up a good fight, and that's to be expected in a divisional game. But San Francisco just proved that they got more weapons, and they just outlasted them.
That's true. They do have weapons there, man, but you would expect them to have a better record than what they're currently
they struggle a little bit. I mean, dude, I think people are underestimating how much McCaffrey is a leader and how much he really does mean to that offense. I mean, sure, there's guys that come in there and get 100-yard rushes and shit, but dude, he's a receiver. They can line him up outside, inside. He means so much to that offense, dude. So
It's not like they've been hurting. Mason is number 2 in the NFL in rushing right now.
no, that's what I'm saying. Like people can come into that system and get stats, but what McCaffrey brings to the table isn't necessarily written. You can't just write that on paper, dude. Like he's a leader, bro.
Well, I mean that, and maybe the difference is like you touched on, D'Lo, was maybe you all right. So Mason's done a good job, but you're just defending that run. You know what I mean? And when it comes to McCaffrey, he brings a whole element to the scheme to where like you got to, if he's out playing receiver, like he's a legit receiver, you got to pay attention to this guy. So it throws your defense off to where maybe when you're playing against Mason,
it opens up other guys for sure. Yeah.
Defense. Yeah.
I believe that McCaffrey's scares defensive coordinators. So they plan extra hard for him, even though they usually still can't stop him because, like you said, with the receiving and the rushing that he brings. And with Mason, I don't feel like he puts that fear into the heart of defensive coordinators the way that McCaffrey's does.
Yeah, but you can't just throw 8 in the box with the receivers they got. And you know, Purdy, a lot of people give Purdy flack, but I mean, Purdy's a good quarterback.
Number 2 in the league in passing yards.
He's proven it. So you throw
and
in
I
the
just
box.
I feel like McCaffrey's one of them dudes that makes guys better around him, and that's what I was trying to say with that. Like he gets guys up, man. Like Kittle's numbers were better when he was out there. Debo's numbers were better when he was out there. Like he opens up spots for other guys, man.
He draws so much attention to himself.
Yeah, what I'm saying though is with having the number 2 rusher on your team, having the number 2 passer on your team, you would think that San Francisco would be better than 3-3 right now.
But I'm saying that it's a huge loss right now with McCaffrey being out, and also, you know, Brock Purdy, man. I mean, to me, Brock Purdy's a middle of the road quarterback, dude. He's not going to lose the game for you. But, man, if he doesn't have those weapons around him, I don't think he's going to win it for you either, man.
He's got a talented roster. He's got a talented coach, and the scheme is fitting to his strengths.
Absolutely.
So you throw him somewhere else. You throw him somewhere else like Pittsburgh, San Diego, Dallas. He's not going to be the same guy.
I don't even think that he would be the same guy if you threw him somewhere with a decently talented roster like Cincinnati or something, man. I don't think that he would be, you know, I just don't.
Well, Burrow's talented. We see what he's done this year.
I'm just saying, number 2 in the league in passing, he's thrown for over 1,600 yards. He has 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
Well, that's because their scheme sets them up to pass a lot, dude. Like, you know, he passes a lot, man. But you know, I don't know. I like I said, I've watched a lot of Brock Purdy's games, man. I know. I got several buddies that are Niners fans and shit, and I don't know, man. I just don't see that in him like he's a dog. You know what I mean? So
looking back at that, just to finish up with this, looking back at that, you got number 2 passer, number 2 rusher, so you're clearly getting the offense, which we always think is San Francisco's defense is being a strength. But if Seattle put up 26 points, I haven't watched a lot of games. Maybe that's the situation.
It definitely is. They as soon as Saleh got fired, they said that don't be surprised if San Francisco calls him to come back as their D coordinator.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah. So
anyway, all right, but hey, let's not forget Seattle started out 3-0. They've lost 3 straight games. Though the number 1
not a bad team, dude.
Number 1,
they're not a bad team.
No, but the number 1 passer in the league is Geno Smith.
Geno,
really?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Look up there at what they got, bro. They got DK Metcalf. They got Smith and Jigba. They got Tyler Lockett. They got some receivers up there, bro. Plus their running back is that Ken. What's his name? Walker.
Oh,
Kenneth
yeah.
Walker the third. Yeah.
No, it's not a bad team. It's just I think that their defense lacks in Seattle. I don't think they have a good defense. Where San Fran, they do have a good defense, which is even more puzzling on why San Francisco right now is 3-3.
Gotta have the right scheme. Gotta have the right scheme with the right players.
That's true. All right. We did a lot of talking on them. On to the next game. The Bears in London. Jacksonville playing their first of 2 straight games in London, which I thought was weird because they're back this week. We had the Bears get a 35-16, some would say a blowout win against the Jaguars. What's your guys' opinion on this? We won't try to go too far in on this one. We'll do it up on the Jet Up, Bear Down podcast. But what do you guys think about this game?
The Bears look the best they have all year. They looked solidified. There was a couple rocky points with the offensive line. They did 2 first 3 and outs. And after that, they just scored and moved the ball down the field. Hadn't seen that out of them all year. That was awesome. Jacksonville is a team that's struggling. They beat Indy the week before, and the Colts beat the Bears the week before. But Jacksonville just looks like they're struggling, trying to find their identity, and the Bears look like they're kind of figuring things out as they go. So that's what I seen.
What did you see on that game, D'Lo? What did the game tell you?
Yeah, like you said, we'll save the in-depth analysis for the other podcast. But what I did see was growth. They're growing every week, and that's a big thing. Our rookie looks better every week. Our offensive line's looking better every week. DeAndre Swift's looking better every week. These guys are growing. That's a plus. As far as Jacksonville goes, they got a game this coming week in London, and I fully expect the coaching staff to be fired before they leave London. They just, they're not helping Trevor Lawrence develop as a quarterback. He was talked about as one of those prodigy type kids coming out of college. I didn't see it, but a lot of these analysts and shit do. So if you can't develop
a better passing Tim Tebow to me when I watched him in college.
Yeah, man. I mean, he looked like he had that college game that wasn't going to translate over to the pros, man. So, yep.
I feel like they're owned by the Cons. And I don't know if the Cons necessarily know what the hell they're doing. This is a team that once passed up Aiden Hutchinson for. Do you remember?
We still can't think of his name. Yeah.
No, I had it. It's Walker, Trayvon Walker, defensive end.
See, but didn't they just go to the championship like 2 or 3 years ago? AFC Championship.
Yeah,
the Cons owned them then.
They made the playoffs last year, didn't they?
I believe so.
In the words of Conor McGregor, when it comes to that Trayvon Walker, who the fuck is that guy? You know what I mean? Like, fuck that, dude. Like,
by that one dude.
I think the Cons have something to do with them playing back-to-back weeks in London. They got ties over there.
They do because they own that soccer club
like
over
I
there.
said, I fully believe that that's the move. They're going to try to see about eventually taking them to London. So
the logistics of that, though, it's just
terrible.
It is.
Well, I mean,
Saeed Khan's got or Canada before I do that.
I mean, yeah, you would think so, but I think with him having the type of money that he has, and he's like, it won't bother me to go back and forth for away games and shit. But now for them to play home games,
to say about that.
You would think so, man. You would think so.
Well, they're 19th in the league in offense. Their defense does not. Their defense is 31st in the league. Right there is why they struggle right there. And so it appears now that Trayvon Walker pick with the number 1, which we all said it then. We all were shocked when we were like, who?
Well, it's just crazy because dude, that receiver that they got, that Brian Thomas or whatever, that kid looks good, man. And
makes me rushing for him.
that ETN, he's struggling this year, man. A couple people said they took him like second overall in their draft and shit, and they're like, he's done nothing but let us down this year. So
I talked that smack about Trayvon Walker. He does have 5 sacks on the year, but still, just I don't know. That team's dysfunctional. I think it's because of ownership. You got their president of scouting is Tony Khan, who's son of Shad Khan, who owns AEW Wrestling, and that guy, they say, is working 19-hour days. Like in between that, he has other companies and then AEW, and I just that reflects back on the football operation.
19 hours. What you got to be on in 19 hours?
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen,
Oh boy,
I'll see that do
ladies
live.
and gentlemen,
I love to hang out with Tony Khan.
ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to know, you know, Phil says that the Jaguars are dysfunctional. This is coming from a guy that knows all about dysfunction because he's a Jets fan.
Take it easy. We're going to get there.
First of all,
I just looked it up on my phone, though. This is why I was saying move a team to England. So there's problems with East Coast games or East Coast teams going to West Coast. There's problems with West Coast teams going to East Coast. 6.5 hours from New York to London. That's the quickest flight. 10 hours and 20 minutes from the West Coast to London. That's an issue. No one's going to want to do that. That's why I said the other owners they'll probably shoot that down.
Well, yeah, dude. I mean, the Bears left right after they left like the next day or 2 days after their last game. That way they weren't jet lagged. They stayed almost all week in London, dude. So and the Jaguars came like
left. Why would the Jaguars leave if they were playing this weekend?
No, for sure they stayed. I haven't looked it up yet, but for sure.
To put a team in London, they would have to play like three games in London and then like 3 games in the United States. And it's a logistical nightmare to put a team there. I can understand if you're wanting to put a team in Toronto, Vancouver, Mexico City, even, as crazy as that sounds. But to put a team in London, it just does not, logistical wise, they got to have a base in the United States. So I don't know if they're going to be called like the London / Jacksonville Jaguars, because they're going to have to spend like
that might make more sense actually,
to where they spend 3 weeks in the United States playing games. You know what I'm saying? They got a home base in Jacksonville, though they're not playing any games in Jacksonville. But you know what I'm saying?
That's creative, and that might make more sense. Here's the thing, though. So anytime we send NFL game overseas, different country, different continent, they sell out. It's crazy, phenomenal. If you put the Jaguars in London permanently, even if it's for, say, half the games, 8 games, and they end up playing like they have played, those games that's selling out, are they going to sell out anymore?
I think they will for a little while, just for the fact that it's still the new. But
the Jags are just dog shit for fucking 2 years. Do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, third year. If they're coming there on the 3rd year, they're probably coming there to fucking throw beer bottles and fucking rip up the goalposts and do shit like people in England do at soccer games. I got no problem with that. That's how I treat every concert I go to. I'm just saying those guys are fucking awesome. Those fans are crazy. They're awesome. But the NFL kind of looks down on stuff like that, right?
I agree.
They don't want people jumping the field because they're mad that their shitty team lost again and like coming and kicking the shit out of the opponents and the coaches and referees. And I think those people are down with that.
So much for speeding it up. We're 20 minutes in for 32
I mean, these were critical games, though.
But we're not spending it talking about the Jets and the Bears.
Right, these were critical games.
All right, on next up, Houston goes down, gets a 41-21 victory in Foxborough against Patriots. Finally, we've seen that offense open up.
You can speed this up as much as you want.
But we don't have Collins. They don't have Collins, but yet they still got Tank, and they still got Diggs. So, and they got the running back. So Mixon. So they look great. Anything you guys want to add to this?
Like you said, they finally started to come out of their shell a little bit, and that's that's what you expect to see with the Texans, man. I mean, they're a good team. So
It's on
you know,
paper, on paper, you could have put these guys in possibly the AFC Championship game. They had a strong enough roster with adding Mixon, adding Diggs. That defense wasn't bad, but they got a defensive-minded coach. They had Stroud coming off, but now teams have a year of footage on them, and it looked like it showed teams were, matching them, and they weren't putting up the points. And they lost Collins now. I don't know if Collins – I don't think he's out for the year, but he's out at least 4 games. They put him on IR.
I think he went on the 4-game IR, yeah. So.
But they look good. Patriots are the Patriots, man. I don't even know. Did they start Drake May in this game?
Yeah, it was his first start.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Was it his first start? I knew he was starting. I didn't know if this coming week or if it was last week.
He got some playing time against the Jets. I knew that.
Yeah, but this was what it was. This is an easy game to get past. Texans were going to be the Patriots.
He didn't look bad. All right, his numbers weren't all garbage. He was 20 of 33, 243 yards, 3 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. And he also led the team in rushing yards, 5 carries, 38 yards. So
that's rookie numbers, and that's a bad team, which we know that the Patriots are.
Yeah, that's not bad for as bad a team as they are.
Mixon, having missed the last couple of games, came in, had only 13 carries, but had 102 yards and 1 touch. So, I mean, not bad. Let me see. I was seeing if he added. Yeah, he had 2 catches, 30 yards, and a touchdown there. So him coming back.
I think the Patriots. I mean, they are weak. They're broken down, but their trajectory, I think, is in the right way. I think.
Well, but also,
but yeah, I mean, they're one of the not so talented teams in the league.
With Collins being out, Stephon Diggs had 6 receptions, 77 yards and a touch. Tank Dell, 7 catches, 57 yards and a touchdown. So, I mean, the 2 guys stepped up that we knew that was going to step up. So, and they didn't throw to much else besides for Mixon, Dalton Schultz, their tight end, and 1 pass to Dameon Pierce, and that was it. So he's going to have to spread the ball out to some other guys, but
it was what it was. I mean, this was to be expected.
I don't think the Patriots have much in receivers. Obviously, they don't have shit in running backs because
they ain't got a shit in a lot of places.
No, their number 1 receiver was Douglas, 6 catches, 92 yards and a touch.
They're just not. They don't have an offensive line right now. I mean, they do got 2 decent running backs. They got that. They got that Stevenson up there, and they got Gibson from Washington.
You don't do a lot of running behind a shitty line, though.
Yeah, that's what I said. They don't have an offensive line. I think their best receiver. I think their best receiver is a dude named Jalen Polk or something like that. They don't.
Mario Douglas, their slot receiver.
Yeah, you're talking about Jalen Polk, and he had 1 catch, 4 yards. Austin Cooper, 1 catch, 5 yards. Bourne, 2 catches, 9 yards. Like I said, it was Boot.
DeMario's been the man since last year. DeMario, he's a little short slot receiver. He's fast and shifty, and he's the best guy they got up there. He's most reliable.
Yeah, it was
kind of like I'm trying to think what was the white guy's name up there?
Edelman,
and before him, 83.
Welker.
Wes Welker, yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of like that. He's in the same body form as those guys. Plays in the slot, runs around a lot. No matter what, gets open. So
their issue was they had 3 fumbles, lost 2 of them. You can't win games when doing that. So I mean, but Houston is 5-1. New England is 1-5, and that's what it is, man.
Let's move on.
All right, on to the next. We had the Commanders traveling to Baltimore. They lost a 23-30 close game. A lot of people, I think Bennett took the Commanders. We had taken the Ravens in this. My question is to you guys, are the Ravens the best football team in the NFL?
I mean, if I'm starting, I'll say on any given Sunday they can be, but do I look at their roster and say that they're the best football team? Absolutely not. Like,
Here's what I can tell you: a little stat knowledge. Number 1 rusher in the league, and it's not even close. Henry, he's already got over 700 yards rushing, and they've only played 6 games. He's number 1 in rushing touchdowns. He has, I believe, 8 is what he has, 8 or 9. Like, a lot of people said that he was done for when he left Tennessee. He's not.
I never said that. I actually thought he's going to get better, judging by how the Ravens run their offense and how they do things. It's actually going to make Lamar's production go up. Considering the fact that the Ravens has lost the game, they lost 2 games, right?
Ravens,
they
start out 0-2.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that they even lost 2 games was shocking to me. They look like a dominant team. I don't think their defense is as strong as people think they are. I think they've gone up. They've gone up against weak offenses. But as far as adding Derrick Henry, when they added that, I don't know who said Derrick Henry they thought he was done. But I knew the way the Ravens run the offense, that shit was going to go to a different level.
But here's what we said, and I think D'Lo, I think we talked about this before. We said, how many rushing attempts is he going to get when their quarterback already likes to be the leading rusher on the team?
It's going to change.
Yep.
He's not going to be the leading rusher anymore. He's not going to have the most attempts anymore. You put Derrick Henry on your team. I know he's a little older gentleman, but man, the guy is just a workhorse. Always has been, always will be.
Yeah,
I give him another 2 years before his carries start going down. He starts sharing time with somebody.
The thing that works in Derrick Henry's favor is that he doesn't base his running off of speed, dude. He's a powerhouse, dude. He runs dudes straight the fuck over. He's like 250 pounds.
There's something that never gets brought up about him that I've noticed. He definitely is a powerhouse, but his vision, he has a key.
Oh, yeah.
And this is something that not a lot of people talk about. People talk about vision as in you pick the right hole, you pick the right lane, you run away from the defender. He has a vision, understands his talent. He picks the right lane and hole where he puts himself in a one-on-one tackle position with a cornerback and a safety. He's done it his whole career. No one's noticed this, but he's done it his whole career. That's why you see single guys getting stiff arms, single guys getting run over. He has a vision to where he's not running necessarily away from a tackle. He's running towards the weakest part of the defense to get to him to make a tackle. If he sees, all right, I can take this route and gain another 10 yards and get tackled by 2 guys, or I can take this route and face a guy one-on-one 5 yards earlier. I'm taking that route because I'm probably going to gain another 15 to a touchdown. Think about that, fellas.
Well, here, I just want to go ahead and I want to shout out some numbers real quick because we are usually harsh on Jackson, the quarterback there, but he was 20-26, 323 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He ran 11 times for 40 yards.
There you go.
But his issue was he threw to basically 1 receiver, Zay Flowers, 9 receptions, 132 yards. He targeted him.
I mean, he doesn't have any other real targets up there. He's got Mark Andrews. Like they're saying Mark Andrews is severely frustrated up there. Like he's not getting any kind of.
He had 3 catches, 66 yards, and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, they said he was been frustrated all season. So
yeah, Bateman had 4 catches, 71 yards, and Isaiah Likely, his other tight end, had 2 catches, 27 yards. So I mean, Aguilar added 1 catch, 25 yards. So I mean, that's what it was. But still the 11 attempts. That's still a lot for a quarterback to be running the ball 11 times.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that to me, that's still his go-to. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree. I think if his first man is covered, he runs, and it shows in the numbers when you're rushing that many times. When you already have a running back that can run the ball and is dominating the league, like I said, it's over 7. It's 750 yards maybe, but I mean that's impressive, and it's not even close. He's like I said, the second guy behind him is Mason, and I think he's almost 200 yards behind Henry.
Well,
So,
that's the thing. They said that Joe Mixon for the Texans came out and he was raising hell about that whatever they call that drop hip tackle or whatever it's called because they were like Joe Mixon was leading the league in rushing up to that point, and then he went down with the injury because dude dropped down and landed on his ankle or rolled his ankle or whatever it was. I'm like, man, that shit can happen to anybody, man. So,
yep. All right. D'Lo, I just got I don't know if you get that ESPN update, but MMA fighter Mike Perry arrested and charged with DUI in Florida. And I bet he tried to fight all the cops.
Hey, dude, you gotta watch that video, dude. He keeps talking about he's black and all kinds of shit, too. Dude, he uses.
He did say the N word one time, right?
You gotta be a crazy person to talk like that.
You gotta be black to say the N word.
He uses the gay slur faggot a lot.
Whoa.
We here at the Worst Case Scenario podcast do not condone that talk or that language.
Like I said, you gotta be a crazy person to talk like that.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta be black. If you're gonna say the N word, you gotta be black.
You won't hear that shit around here, ladies and gentlemen.
Not anymore.
I'm starting to think I'm starting to think that Bennett's related to Mike Perry. You know what I'm saying? So,
all right. Shit, D'Lo, you ain't joking, man. We 30 minutes in, we've covered like four games. All right, next up, not much to talk about here. The Browns, though, they go to Philadelphia, and surprisingly, they only lose by 4, 16-20. Any thoughts on this, guys?
The only thought that I have is, the talks are that the Browns are getting ready to have a fire sale with their talent and shit, but usually
fire sale. It was
they already
fire
did.
Sale.
They already did. They traded Amari Cooper for next to nothing to Buffalo.
But listen, usually the GM is the guy that puts the staff together, and then the coach has the option of who starts the game. It's apparent to me that they came to Stefanski and said, "You're sticking with Watson." There's no other excuse for it, man. The dude has been horrible. They're the only team this season that has not scored 20 points.
Watson is the most sacked quarterback in the league. He's been sacked 31 times. In this game, he only put up 168 yards passing. He threw in 17 more yards rushing.
What's the reason for that, though? Is that the offensive line, or is that him holding on to the ball too long? Is that the scheme, the play calling?
Here's an official stat.
He's holding the ball too long, and then when he does release it, dude, his release looks off. It's terrible, bro. I watched I probably watched about a quarter of his play this season, and I was like, oh, my God, dude. He looks terrible.
Since they brought him in, and I'm not joking, this isn't me mocking him or nothing. He has more settled lawsuits than touchdowns thrown as a Cleveland Brown.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Well, we talked about this earlier in the week when you deal on the phone about you made the trade for him. You're paying him all this money. Your job's on the line. If you get rid of him, you already made a wrong decision. You're probably losing your job. So the only thing you can do to even save your job is just try to ride it out and hopefully something changes.
Well, as the GM, I understand.
Cleveland, they gave the keys to Cleveland to Houston in order to get this guy, and we all said it then. We all laughed at it when they guaranteed that $200 and some million contract. After everything that they knew about him, it was a joke. He spent the first 11 games where he couldn't play because he was suspended by the league. It was a dumb decision, and now they're finally seeing it. And how long before this guy is out of the league?
And Cleveland had a chance with Flacco and the defense and Flacco, and they had something rolling. They chose to get Flacco out of there. That way Watson didn't have somebody breathing down his neck. And
my thing
it's a dumpster fire. Cleveland's a dumpster fire again.
My thing is I could see the GM riding it out with Watson, but the coach if he already knows that he's going to be fired, dude, then do what you can do to make the team look as good as you can do before you get fired. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they have a good defense. They have a good defense there. They have good players.
Absolutely,
Garrett,
dude. Yeah, that team has talented players on it.
But they're about to get, like you said, they're about to get Chubb back. How much of a deep difference does he make to Cleveland, who was 1-5? They've already traded away one of their top receivers in Cooper. You know, they did get their tight end back. He had 5 catches, 31 yards. But having Chubbs, will that make a difference?
I think Chubb's going to be on a probably a little bit of a limited carry for a little bit, man. I mean, he's coming back. Yeah, a little bit of a pitch count, dude. I mean, he's coming back after over a year off on a second major bad injury, dude. It was terrible.
How many times you see a dude's leg went that way? It was like back.
And I've seen his do it twice, you know. So,
but now with the trade of Amari Cooper leaving, going to Buffalo, Jerry Jeudy becomes the number 1 receiver there.
Yikes!
Yeah, yikes.
I don't think we have much more to add on this. So let's go ahead and move on as Brock's team, Arizona Cardinals, traveled to Green Bay and took a 13-34 loss. What's your guys' thoughts on this game?
That was my
go ahead, D'Lo.
That was my only loss on the week, man. I went against Green Bay. As a Bears fan, I continue to go against Green Bay, even though some weeks they look good. But yeah, Arizona let me down, man. So
Arizona's they've been up and down all year. They played good, then they played bad. They played good, they played bad. Green Bay is kind of almost the same way, but they mostly played good. I think Green Bay is legit. The defense is above average. The receivers, even though a lot of those guys, they call them no names. Like, I pay attention to Green Bay. You usually don't have one set receiver that stands out. Usually it's a multitude of receivers. But I think they're legit. I really do. As much as I hate to say it, I think they're legit. NFC North, man, strongest division in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good this year, man. Everybody in the North is looking solid, and but man, I tell you what, a
lot of division games. I don't even know if they played a division game. I know the Lions got Minnesota coming up this week. That's a big game for both teams, but I think that might have a lot to do with their records. Is they haven't played each other. But yeah, Green Bay's legit, and Arizona can surprise anybody at any time. Phil, what's your take?
Well, man, Arizona is so inconsistent that, man, dude, I picked Green Bay to win this game, but I thought the Cardinals would keep it close. The Cardinals are 2-4 on the season. Green Bay moves to 4-2. My opinion is that Green Bay is one of the worst 4-2 teams in the league. I don't believe the hype.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't. Nobody is going to get me Biggs. I work with a lady that's a huge fan of the Packers. Nobody's going to get me to believe that the Packers are that good. I think that any time that they match up with a team that is even 500 or better, that Green Bay will lose to them. That's my opinion. I think that when the Vikings play Green Bay, they'll beat them. I think that when the Lions play, they're going to stomp them. And I think, that they've ridden as far as they can. I can't remember all the teams that they've beaten, but I can't imagine that these are top echelon teams.
I think they were, though.
Well, I can pull it up and look.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Green Bay has beaten. They lost to the Eagles.
The Cardinals beat the 49ers.
A good team. They lost to the Colts. Not a good team. They beat the Colts. Not a good team. They beat the Titans. Not a good team, even though the Titans have the number 1 defense. Shocking in the NFL. They lost to the Vikings. Packers beat the Rams. Not a good team. So right there, their 4 wins have come from teams that are 500 or less. Their 2 losses came from teams that have winning
There's a
records.
lot of teams to 500 or less though right now.
No, but I'm just saying. Okay,
Hey, let me just speak.
Go ahead.
You talked about the Packers, but I just looked it up. The Cardinals' losses or wins, their 2 wins have come against last week. They beat the 49ers 24-23, which we think is a decent team.
but inconsistency.
Despite the record, and they blew out the Rams in week 3 or week 2, blew out the Rams 41-10.
But what I'm saying is their 4 wins have came to teams. Look up the combined record if you want to. They beat the Colts. The Colts have a losing record. They beat the Titans, losing record. They beat the Rams, losing record. Cardinals, losing record.
You're speaking on the Packers. I was speaking on the Cardinals.
Okay, well, I'm speaking on the Packers because that's what me and D'Lo was talking about, that they're not as good as what they believe and what other people believe. Their two losses came from winning teams. We're talking about the Eagles. We're talking about the Vikings. So I don't believe they're as good as the record says. I think they're one of the worst 4-2 teams.
I don't disagree with you there. I do disagree with you that they're not legit.
You think that they're legit?
I think they're legit.
You think they're legit, D'Lo?
No, absolutely not.
That's your Packer hate.
No. It's I don't.
That's
I
your
really
Packer
don't.
hate coming through.
Here's what I want to ask you, and I know we didn't want to go so long, but tell me and D'Lo, what makes you think that they're legit? What signs do you see? Because I don't see it. And D'Lo,
well, he was talking about it while you were pissing or whatever.
Yeah,
he said that he said their wide receiver core is underrated. They got an above average running back. Jordan Love's turned out to be a little better than we thought. So I mean, I get what he's saying.
Oh, so you mean that they shine against lesser teams, and then they don't show up? Okay,
don't we all?
All right, look. They beat the Colts by 6. They beat the
Bears lost.
They beat the Titans by 16. They lost. Okay, so they're 2 losses. They lost by 5 to the Eagles. Lost by 2 to the Vikings. They beat the Rams barely by 5.
There's a divisional game that I was talking about.
And then they stopped the Cardinals. But also, when we're talking about the Cardinals, like inconsistency by the Cardinals.
Sure.
Like we see Marvin Harrison show up for a game, then we see him disappear. We see him show up. Same with Connor there. It's not consistency. And trust me, I know that as a Jet fan. You guys know that as Bears. Like, consistency is what the NFL is all about. And I don't see it with the Packers. I see them beating down on lesser teams, but they don't win the big games.
Well, I hope you're right. For my sake, I hope you're right. Let's move on.
All right, we'll move on. On to the next one. Hold on, let me go back. We had the Buccaneers coming out and just delivering 3 or 4 dusty bionic elbows to the Saints. That is kind of a shocker. I did pick the Bucs to win. I think there was only one person here.
I did.
Yeah. D'Lo. No, it wasn't D'Lo.
It was me. I chose
okay, my bad. We all chose the Bucs to win, but I don't think that we thought they were going to win like they did over the Saints. I think that we have all three can consider the Saints were a pretty good team, but they don't have Derek Carr anymore. That's a big factor. You can have Kamara, you can have that defense, but without Derek Carr, that offense falls apart, and it showed. And but 51-27, man. D'Lo, go ahead and give your input on this game.
Again, Baker Mayfield comes out and shines, and it's just another week that he's continuing to prove Tampa Bay right.
He does shine. He had 326 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, but he also had 3 picks. Something that in the last couple of games, those interceptions.
He's shining all right.
How about Sean Tucker?
Just saying.
Who knew Sean Tucker? Did you know Sean Tucker? Did you know Sean Tucker, Bennett?
Still don't know Sean Tucker.
Sean Tucker ran the ball 14 times for 136 yards and a touchdown.
I'm picking him up in fantasy right now.
And he also added 3 catches at 56 yards and a touchdown. Now, we were
so
all
I'm guessing,
Yeah,
I'm
go ahead,
guessing
Neil.
that I'm guessing their first string running back was out or what?
Was that Bucky?
I don't know. Sean Tucker sounds like a guy that.
Is that Bucky Irvington?
What? Now you just named 2 people. It sounds like you fucking.
Bucky Irvington ran 14 times, 181 yards and a touchdown. And he also added
181 yards. What?
No, he added 81 yards.
Oh.
The first guy added 136 yards. They ran for 277 yards on the ground.
No disrespect, but both these guys sound like guys that sell popcorn at the game, not guys that.
Well, Bucky Irvington
ball
added
game.
2 catches and
Old
24
Bucky.
yards. Bucky.
Old Buck.
I thought they had a running back there named White. Did I not, D'Lo?
They're
That's
supposed to have.
that's their first string guy. Is he hurt or what?
He did not play in this
So
game.
there's Old Buck, and what was the other guy's name?
Tucker. Chris
Oh,
Tucker.
Old
Old
Buck.
Buck and Old Buck.
Sean Tucker.
Old
Sean,
Buck. and
don't call me
Old
Chris
Tuck.
Tucker.
They got the job done.
But Godwin showed up in this game, 11 catches, a Bill 25, 2 touchdowns. Then Tucker added 3 for 56 and a touchdown. I don't know if Evans was hurt, but Evan only had 2 catches, 34 yards. But he was hitting Ryan Miller. He hit Bucky. He hit Sterling Shepard. Is Sterling Shepard not the former Giant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he
He ran the ball 4 times for 31 yards.
He also hit 3 Saints.
Added three catches, 23 yards.
No, hey, don't pave over that. I know they fucking blew him out, but he also hit 3 Saints. Baker Mayfield is not what you think he is.
No, he is. I think Baker Mayfield is. Mayfield is a now he's not this guy. I want to go ahead and say I'm giving him a comparison. All right. I'm not saying he is this guy. He shows flashes, and I know you guys are going to shit all over it.
Go ahead.
Favre. He's a
Oh,
gunslinger. You know what I'm saying? When I say that, I'm not
He's a
saying the
tax
greatness.
evasion.
It shows his penis. It sends penis pictures. No. What I'm saying is he's a gunslinger. That's why he had the 3. He had 4 touchdowns, but he had 3. He's always trying to thread that needle, and he's not an Aaron Rodgers, but he's trying to thread the needle a lot.
I mean, if you're gonna compare him to a gunslinger, I'd see him being more like a Jay Cutler or a Rex Grossman more than a.
Rex Grossman is a bum. Now
Small hands.
the other guy, who's the other guy you said there? Cutler.
Jay Cutler.
I respect Jay Cutler. Which one was Indiana boy?
Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler.
Oh, no, both of them.
No. Grossman was out of Bloomington North.
Yeah.
One was Evansville, right?
No, other one was St.
No,
Paul's.
no,
Indiana. Cutler,
Cutler was in San.
But we was at one of the schools and they had his remember that?
That was Grossman.
For Brock or Rustlin or
Yeah, that
whatever.
was Bloomington South.
Yeah, they had his jersey up and shit. But I do agree. Cutler was a gunslinger, and
They don't put Cutler's picture in his high schools because he's a fucking prick.
he was.
Yeah,
And
he's
he
an
also had
asshole.
a Vanderbilt, right?
Yeah.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah, he has the same identity as Aaron Rodgers.
Fuck it.
He's a fucking
Yeah.
prick.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, he's a dude that isn't afraid to throw that pass. He's got confidence in his pass. Like, I like Baker Mayfield, and I feel like he got a raw deal in Cleveland. I think he's resurrected his career, and I think that
In that aspect, I 100% agree. I think he got a raw deal, and I'm glad to see that he's doing his thing down in.
in that team after Brady
Yeah, but you
leaving,
don't throw 3 picks. I mean, you throw 3 picks and win at like a 51.
he did win. He did win.
I know,
3 picks
51
and still
points,
won.
but still, you don't throw 3 picks in a game. I don't give a shit how good you are.
But you a gunslinger. When you a gunslinger, you a gunslinger,
That means you got shot in the head 3 times.
and still came back.
That's the worst analogy ever.
I don't know. I don't hate on him. I feel like he's
I don't
doing
hate
whatever.
on him either.
I think that with everything with Tom Brady after he won the Super Bowl, did he go to 1 or 2 Super Bowls
2.
in Tampa? Oh, he went 2. So everything after that, and then they kind of got this down period. I feel like he lifted him out of that, and he's like, "Hey, there is life after Tom Brady." Which let me go ahead. I would like to just call it timeout real quick and ask your 2 opinion. Have you guys listened to Tom Brady as a football analyst on these game shows?
Not for 1 minute.
Have you, D-Lo?
Yeah, he's trash. He's trash.
I appreciate him.
Yeah.
I appreciate him. I might. Because he does have insight. He does know that shit. And I don't know if you guys are just hating him because he's Tom Brady. Nobody
I
else
didn't
has a
hate him. I
reason
said I've
to
never
hate
heard
on
one.
him more than me as a Jet fan. But he's got that knowledge. That's what you want. Chris Collinsworth? What does Chris Collinsworth ever did? You know what? Take that back because I watched that game the other night. I'm not trying to talk about the Jets, but Troy Aikman is just a fucking hater. I hate Troy Aikman, and he's a bitch-ass bum.
I don't like none of these quarterbacks. I don't like Tony Romo. I like the guys that like have been down in the trenches and they're like, you know, they're spouting off shit like we would spout off rather than fucking calling out like a fucking
uncohesive or incoherent babble.
I mean, I just rather my football analyst sound like.
I like the Manning cast.
Manning is good.
I like the Manning cast.
Yeah.
And I just want to say I love his newest commercial where he's a painter and the lady comes up and he's like, Peyton Manning. He is hilarious. I give him credit, man.
Yeah.
That dude is fucking hilarious.
He got a big fucking forehead.
We've always known that. Some people said that it was on the juice. I don't.
There's a show on
his body.
There's a show on Amazon Prime now.
There's
a show on Amazon Prime where they're all going fucking undercover and going to these colleges and shit. Like Baker Mayfield's doing it. Eli, fucking all these motherfuckers. They're like going out there and showing up the fucking college players and shit. So
if you shave Peyton Manning's head, he could play Conehead as Dan Aykroyd back in the 90s.
Or Dr. Evil.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right.
Move on.
Yeah. All right. On to it. The Colts went and got a 2017 victory over the Titans, showing that, and I don't know if you guys know this, but the Titans do have the number one defense. Number two defense is held by the New York Jets. But it does shock me because Titans played the Bears first game of the season.
That's how they got number
one. Then they played
defense.
the Jets.
That's how they got number one defense.
That's shocking to me, really, that the
Why?
Titans would have the
Because
number
the Jets
one.
played like shit and the Bears played like shit.
But did you beat them?
No, we didn't. We lost.
Oh,
got
we
our ass
did.
whipped.
Well, we beat them.
Yeah, barely.
Don't
we beat the Titans.
Talking about the Jets. All
You
right.
probably got two defensive touchdowns to beat them.
We didn't.
I'm just guessing, but you didn't score. You didn't get through over 300 yards. You didn't score.
Opinion on the
20 points.
Colts. Opinion on the Colts. Are they fucked without Richardson? Are they better off
No,
with
they're better off with Flacco.
Flacco, the immovable statue?
Say whatever you want.
What's up with the running game there?
JT's been out.
Your opinion,
Uh-huh.
D'Lo?
Colts
think
are
JT
trash.
Flacco, you're good.
Go ahead, D'Lo.
The Colts are trash. Gus Bradley is their defensive coordinator, and they got the worst run defense in the league. Their defense is leaky as fuck. They just lost Pittman to an injury, so they're going to have to make up for that. Plus, Jonathan Taylor's been out. Anthony Richardson's supposed to come back this week, but like Bennett said, I think they're better. I think they're better off with Flacco. So, you know, I think the Colts are in shambles.
Their defense is their weakness.
Yeah, for sure.
JT coming back is a good thing. AR-15 coming back is a bad thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Sounds good. All right, on to the next. We had the Chargers getting a 23-16 victory over the Broncos. Now, D'Lo, you talk shit saying the Broncos D wasn't that good. Is the Chargers offense not that good under your fucking beloved head coach?
Yeah, you know, and Bennett he's been trying to figure out who this dude was that it was the guy that prefers running the ball like crazy. I think Bennett's been talking about Greg Roman, the guy that came from Baltimore. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, man, it's just like, I don't know if Harbaugh doesn't know how to use Herbert or what, man, but and maybe Herbert's hurting because
top 10 quarterback and you make him the bottom 20 quarterback. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, but man, like,
Dobbins has done well for them.
Who?
J.K. Dobbins. He's done well for them.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing. Their running backs are killing it, but he's killing fucking Herbert, man. But I don't know if Herbert's suffering from losing his two top receivers.
Yeah, I don't think they have receivers
he-
there. Herbert still threw for 237 yards and one touch, but when I look at the receivers,
that's low numbers for him, though, dude.
he
That's low
spread the
numbers
ball
for him.
around though. The most was Fihoko, 2 catches, 44
Who?
yards.
Who'd you just say?
Fihoko.
Don't make him do it one more time.
Say it.
Make
Say
him
it,
do
Bennett.
it. One
Say
time.
it. Say what's the name? What's the name? Fihoko?
Fihoko Lamalea.
No, there is no. It's Fihoko. It's Simi.
It is Fihoko.
Simi.
It is Fihoko.
And the next,
Assalamu alaikum.
the next one up. Listen, the next one up is Lad McConkey. And then next up is a dude named
He's a nice young lad.
Kiminani Vidal.
Oh
Vidai.
boy. Oh boy.
Vidal.
Yeah, sure.
Then
Vidal,
finally,
Vidal.
Joshua Parker. But nobody had the top receiver was Lad McConkey, who had four receptions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like these guys aren't receivers that can get open. So his numbers are Herbert's numbers are way down. It's just I don't know. So I've been saying all season, will this end up leading to a thing where Herbert decides like I want out of here, man? Like it's just not. Yeah,
What, he's going to do that after the great fucking John Harbaugh comes there.
Well, it's Jim Harbaugh, but I just like I said, I feel like John and Jim Harbaugh are better suited with guys like a Lamar Jackson. Look at what Jim Harbaugh did with Colin Kaepernick. You know what I mean?
Who?
Like
the kneeler?
Yeah, the kneeler. Exactly.
I'll tell you right now. You play the national anthem right now. We standing up, baby.
I'm not.
He's gift. So. He's like Lieutenant Dan, Lieutenant Bennett.
I'm just tired. I'll take my hat off though.
All right. I'm not spending no more time on the Broncos and the Chargers. I do believe the Broncos got a better defense than what people give them credit for. But next up, we had the Steelers getting a 32-13 victory when they traveled to Las Vegas. Any opinions on this?
This one's crazy, man, because they came in and blew the Steelers out. Blew the Raiders out, but Justin Fields again didn't show that he was like pulling away with his stats. And so now
the Jets this week.
They're supposed to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now coming into this week, they're getting ready to start Russell Wilson and shit, man. It's just crazy to me, man.
He didn't throw for 150 yards, bro.
Who?
Fields.
I threw for 145.
Yeah, there you go. What do you want?
So, but
he ran
they won, bro.
59 yards.
Tomlin's a good coach, man.
Hey, no, but let's talk about what he ran for. He ran the ball 11 times, 59 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Sure, and I think they're making a mistake with Wilson. I think he's going to blow up like he did in Denver. So I think they got a better chance with Fields. He at least gives them a dual threat. Wilson's going to give them nothing. The coaching and defense and running has got that team where they've got. What are they? They got 1 loss.
4-2.
4-2. That's still a good record.
But also,
yeah, really.
Talking about the Packers being one of the worst 4-2 teams, the Steelers are right there with them as one of the worst 4-2 teams.
Hey, we'll see in a week or two if Wilson's still the quarterback. Mark my words.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to come out and blow his opportunity, but it's just like, man, Justin Fields has got you this far. Why fuck
other quarterbacks in the league?
I don't know who's that. I don't know. Saving that for the other podcast. All right, next up, because I don't have nothing else to add to that. The Raiders are what they are. We're going to go with the Lions showing dominance as possibly the best team in football, 47-9 over the Cowboys, only allowing 3 field goals. D'Lo, tell me your opinion.
Hey, before you move on from that, the Raiders real quick, they traded Devontae away to the Jets. Good job by the Jets for picking him up. But
no. Save it for the next one.
We're not talking about that.
no. I'm just curious. Do you see the Raiders kind of having a fire sale as well? Because I mean, there's a lot of talk about Max Crosby and
once you lose your best player on offense or defense, I consider that a fire sale.
Yeah. So does that mean that Max Crosby's available?
That is the next best player on the team, in my opinion.
All I'm asking between both of you, if you trade away either one of your best players on offense or defense, ain't that a fire sale?
Max Crosby sits at 4th.
Don't that mean everybody's available?
Oh, you would think Max Crosby sits 4th right now in sacks with, I think, 5.5.
I'm asking a simple question. Answer yes or no. If you
I would say
best player,
but it's not quarterback, but not
defense,
not a quarterback player though. They can get rid of them. They got rid of a receiver who didn't want to be there.
Their best player on offense was not a quarterback; it was Devontae Adams.
But they also have Bowers there. They're not going to trade Bowers. Bowers is young, upcoming tight end. I think.
Yeah, but he's on a rookie deal.
The money's not there. Devontae, the money's there.
You didn't say money. You said best players. One of the best players. Bowers is one of the best players.
Devontae's better than Bowers.
Yes, he is. But now the best player on offense is now Bowers.
Phil, what you're not taking into consideration is when you're doing a rebuild, you want most of your guys on rookie deals. Bowers on the first year of a rookie deal, so they're going to hold on to him, man. They're going to try to stack draft picks.
No, I understand about that. What I'm saying though is now that Adams is gone, to me, my opinion, he's better than Myers. Jacoby Myers, who's there. That's the number one receiver, wide receiver. But the best player on offense now, to me, is Brock Bowers.
Yeah, I agree.
But the best player on the team now is Max Crosby.
So, like I said, I'll go back to the question. Is he available?
Man, dude.
I say yes.
There was so much promise for them after last year with was it Pierce taking over, and he brought he rejuvenized that team. Then they got Gardner Minshew, who I think is really an underrated quarterback. I don't hate on him. Ben is shaking his head. I don't think Gardner Minshew is a bad
I'd love to have him as a backup. I'd love to have him as a backup.
There you go, D-Lo.
Yeah, I wouldn't want him as a starter for a franchise quarterback. That's for sure.
He's better than anything else they got. He's better than O'Connell there.
Well, they're starting O'Connell over him.
I know. Do you not agree though that he's better than O'Connell?
I agree.
I think that Gardner Minshew, you place him on some different teams, and
he's like Flacco. He's not like Flacco, but he is like Flacco. I don't
think he's ever got a fair deal.
I think he's more like Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I didn't have a problem with Fitzmagic.
There you go. I like that analogy.
But really, you're talking about former Jet quarterbacks, Flacco, Fitzmagic, Josh McCown, all those guys, they showed promise.
Do you want to run through all 40 of them?
It's been a lot of them, but hey, right up there with us is the Bears, buddy. I think that
except for your backups were better than ours.
I think when you're
talking about McNown, Matthews.
Over the last 20 years, I got to say the Jets and Bears are like one or one and tied for 1 or 1 and 2 on quarterbacks that they've had started. You know what I'm saying?
You're third. Browns got you beat.
But it's funny because some of these quarterbacks have played for all 3 teams.
Yeah.
So
we need to keep this moving. But the reason that I asked about the Max Crosby thing was because I wanted to go back. Did you guys believe that Myles Garrett is available? Those are 2 major fucking names and cornerstone pieces of.
I believe he is available.
But let me ask you this.
It will take a landslide to get him.
But let me ask you this. Do those guys stick out because the teams overall are so horrible? Is Garrett sticking out and is Max Crosby sticking out because they're the only bright spots on the team?
I don't think so.
How would they do? All right. Who are the Bears' defensive ends?
Sweat.
Montez Sweat. And we've been kind of rotating the other one. We got a dude from the
Is Crosby
from
or
the
Garrett better than anybody you have starting at defensive end right now?
I think they're close or better than Sweat.
But not
yeah,
the other
I
one.
agree. Not the other. No, they're better than the other.
Way better than the other one.
Okay, I can say this: Will McDonald IV is tied for second in the league in sacks.
I never even heard this guy's name.
He was a former first-round draft pick last year.
Exactly.
Yes.
No, he's doing. When we had a team loaded with defensive ends, we drafted him. D'Lo, I told you, I said, I don't get the pick. I get it now. Well, I'm just saying. All right, so you guys would take either one of these guys, right? You take both of them.
Absolutely.
Both of them.
But I don't want to empty the farm on him either. You know what I'm saying?
No. I would stick with
that goes back to the Houston Astros and me and you, D'Lo.
You're 2-4. We're 4-2. So I wouldn't empty the farm because we got a winning record. And let's roll what we got. Now you, on the other hand, would you empty the farm? Yeah, maybe because you want to flip the switch.
I feel like we've already done that, but we're not going to get into that now.
You didn't flip no fucking switch.
We flipped the switch.
No, we're 2-4.
We just did a trade to try to get better, but all right. On to the next. The Falcons went and got a 38-20 win over the Panthers. That was motherfucking Cousins. That's what Cousins does. Cousins just don't show up when it's postseason. But Cousins has elevated himself over the last couple of games. He showed why he is one of the better regular season quarterbacks that we have in this league. He just don't show up.
I'm gonna tell you what, dude. I really believe, like, even though he probably will go down with no Super Bowls and maybe very little playoff wins, I think that Cousins will solidify himself as really close to a Hall of Famer here in Atlanta, dude. Like, this will be his. What?
Hey, Matt Ryan.
Are you calling him a Scott Hall?
Scott Hall.
Scott Hall, some consider one of the best wrestlers that never won a world title.
You're getting off subject.
No, you get it. Like I said, he said Matt Ryan played in the Super Bowl. Matt Ryan played in a Super Bowl. He lost it. He was winning the goddamn Super Bowl and fucking lost it at home. He had a chance to be the first team to win a Super Bowl in his home stadium, and he fucked it up.
Yeah, I believe that Kirk Cousins has turned. This will be a second franchise that he's turned around. He didn't really turn. He didn't turn Washington around, but he did turn Minnesota around.
I agree.
And now he's turning Atlanta. I think he's got an opportunity to get himself into the Hall here, man. Even if he don't win a Super Bowl, man. So,
but he should, because they have talent there. They have talent. They didn't have a whole lot of talent in Washington. He goes to Minnesota. They had talent. He goes to Atlanta. They have talent there. They have a tight end. They have a couple of receivers. They have a running back.
Warren Moon never won a Super Bowl.
Did he ever play in one?
Mm-mm.
There you go. And right now, he's
Marino?
all we're talking about.
Who did he say? Marino?
No, Warren Moon.
Best black
Warren
quarterback
Moon.
ever in the game.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
And that's based on stats and his ability. That dude could read a defense. That dude could run the ball if needed, but he didn't run the ball as much as he could have. That dude could read a defense. That dude, if you add in his stats from the NFL and the Canadian League, he threw for over 100,000 yards.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever thrown for 100,000 yards, but Warren Moon would have if you contribute those two leagues together. That's impressive.
It is impressive, but man,
and that dude knew how to cheat on his wife and get away with it until a certain point.
God damn it, take it easy.
He did, though.
I know how to cheat on my wife. I don't deserve being on.
No, you know, you get called out every time
on purpose.
Anyway, all right. So on to the next one. I think we all picked this one. I don't think there was one dumbass, and it was Bennett. But me and D'Lo, we chose the Bengals to beat the Giants, and that's what they did. We didn't get a Danny DeVito, son.
They are who we thought they were.
You're not going to get one.
We let him off the hook.
Yeah.
But really, Burrows, he's starting to come into form. They still have no running game. Moss is not the running back.
He's not coming into form at all.
You don't think so?
He looked a lot better this week. But what you need to understand is, dude, a lot of people aren't
for a goddamn touchdown. He didn't throw one.
But what I'm saying is, a lot of people aren't giving T. Higgins the credit that he deserves. What he does for that offense, man. Like, he opens up Jamar Chase. Plus, T. Higgins is a fucking great one-on-one receiver, dude.
Well, Deal, I just want to go ahead because Bennett has spouted off his ignorant bullshit once more. Joe Burrow is 5th in the league in passing yards with 1,578. He's 12th in the league. Or no, he's 2nd in the league with 12 touchdown passes. He is 34th in the league. This is a good stat to be 34th in the league. He's only thrown 2 picks, 12 touchdowns, 2 picks, completed 75.1% of his passes. But he says Joe Burrow.
He started off slow. The first couple of games, he started off a little bit slow.
Look, the reason why I say that is I got him in fantasy. So all them fucking stats you're spitting off right now, I got the same fucking stats over here, except they're on averages. Guess what he has done? He's thrown for average of 1 touchdown a fucking game. He's thrown for average of
he's not. He has. How can you say he has
203 yards
12
a game.
touchdowns. He's played in 6 games, so therefore it's 2 touchdowns a game. On average.
I don't know if that what you're looking at is accurate. Like I said, I've started the guy in fantasy. He's got me rotten points.
12. He's tied for 2nd in the league touchdown passes. Only thrown 2 interceptions. That's 75% QBR. 1,500 yards. That's tied for 5th. I know that Cincinnati is abysmal at 2-4, but they started out 0-3. We thought we were betting if they were going to go 0-4.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Say what you want to. He's got an uprise. His completion percentage over the last 5 games has been 67, 76, 71, 76, 63.
You don't get points for fucking completion percentage.
No, but he's completing his fucking pass.
Jalen Hurts is on my other part of my fantasy league. I put him on the bench. He's outscoring Burrow, and he's not even number 2.
Well,
so explain to me that.
He's not looking bad. Thing is, Burrows led the team in rushing. 4 rushes, 55 yards, and a touchdown.
He didn't throw a touchdown pass last week. He ran for 76 yards.
True.
That's what's hurting them, man, is they lost Mixon's production, and they tried to replace it with it's one of those guys that used to be in Buffalo. They had Singletary, and then who was the other guy they had in Buffalo?
Zach Moss they got from Indy.
Zach Moss.
He got traded
yeah.
That's for trash.
Zach Moss ran 6 times for 13 yards. Chase Brown ran 10 times for 53 yards. And Burrow ran 4 times 55 yards with an average of 13.8 with a long of 47 yards. Excuse me. I just wanted to point that out. Bennett thinks he's trash. I feel like he's starting to come into form. And I think now with T. Higgins back on, I think that Cincinnati is only going to get better and Burrows is only going to get better. But all right.
Well, I don't understand. I don't understand why Cincinnati doesn't go out and get Burrows a good, solid tight end, man. Like,
well, they've had some. They've had them. I thought that dude, Gesicki, is that his name?
No, that's from
Mike Gesicki.
I thought he had nothing this week. Their third leading receiver this past week was that Andre Isavasa.
Yeah, slot receiver.
He had 2 for 36. Chase Brown had 2 catches, 11 yards. Eric All Jr. had 2 for 10. Zach Moss 1 for 2. That was it. But Gesicki disappeared.
Yeah. I think their last good tight end. I think what was the dude's name, like Yakuta or something like that.
No, that's the dude that went to the Jets. Uzemith, whatever. He's with the Jets.
What was it? Yeah.
He's still
Zuma.
Whatever. He's still with the Jets. Speaking of the Jets, that's the final game for Monday night. The Jets lost a 20-23
heartbreaker.
Yes, to Buffalo after firing our coach. That's what we lost. And we'll talk more about this on the other podcast. But it was a loss still nonetheless. We look good. Those wins in the Meadowlands, that's all I can say. Because it didn't just affect us, it affected Buffalo. Total of 3 field goals missed and 1 extra point. But the Jets lost the game. I don't have much to say on this until the podcast later. You guys got anything you want to say?
No, I'll pass.
I wish more guys passed on your mom. Go ahead, D'Lo.
The only thing I can say is it did look like the Jets offense moved a little bit better in this game. But they got rid of Hackett when they got rid of Saleh. So, well, they didn't get rid of him; they just demoted him. But it looked to me like the offense was moving a little bit better. But other than that, I expected Buffalo to win. Like I said,
and Josh Downing. So,
I thought it was Aaron Rodgers.
Fuck this guy.
Nah, bro, he's the GM. So.
And the offense coordinator, and the quarterback, and the head coach.
We're not going to talk about this now, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead.
Let's end the episode.
No, we're not ending it. We got to do the preview for this coming up week.
Oh, okay.
God damn, you want to stop laughing, you sick rabbit? All right. Let's try to end this quick.
So fucking sad. So fucking sad.
All right. Now, in quick concession, we're going to go ahead and name off the games. We're going to see who went. This past week, D'Lo won. D'Lo went and pretty damn good, 13-1.
Good job, D'Lo.
I was 11-3, and Bennett finished 9-5.
Nah, so good, Bennett.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and shout it off. You guys give me your picks, and we're going to run down through this as quick as we can. Thursday night game, we got Broncos and their D taking on the Saints. What's your guys' picks?
I'm going with Denver.
Bennett?
I'll go with the Broncos D.
I'm going with the Broncos too. All right, next up, we got the Patriots traveling to Jacksonville, but to play in their other adoptive home in London. D'Lo, who you got?
I expect Jacksonville to get a win here.
Bennett?
Home field, Jacksonville.
I am going to go with the damn Patriots. I think that they're going to pull out a win here. Jacksonville's horrible. I don't care where they're playing. Next up, Tennessee.
I'm not sure Drake May's ready for that travel across the pond, So,
well, it's not across the pond. It's only the pond if you're going from Ireland to England. That's a pond.
No, that's not what they say.
You shut your fucking mouth.
It's a fucking saying, guy.
Fuck the pond. Fuck the pond. A pond is a skating rink.
You're probably fucking a lot of things this week.
Titans versus Bills. D'Lo, who you taking?
Titans versus Bills. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I'm going with the Bills.
I'm going with the Bills. And who you taking, Bennett?
Bills.
Texans versus the Packers. I'm going to take Texans. The offense keeps rolling. I already done said Packers are one of the worst 4-2 teams. So who you taking, D'Lo?
I'm going with the Texans.
Bennett?
It's getting colder up north. I don't think Texas can handle it. I'm going Packers.
All right. Eagles versus Giants. I'm rolling with the Eagles. Bennett?
Yeah, I'm going to do Eagles.
D'Lo?
Yeah, I'm going with the Eagles for sure.
All right. This might be the game of the week. You got the 4-2 Lions. Are they 4-2 or are they 5-1? Regardless.
4-2.
All right, taking on the undefeated Vikings.
No, they are 5-1. You're right.
Okay,
5-1.
taking on the Vikings at the Vikings
5-0.
home in Minneapolis. I'm still rolling with the Lions. D'Lo, who you got?
I'm going with Detroit as well.
Bennett?
Detroit.
I expect
Yep,
Sam
yep.
Darnold to struggle.
Man, fuck Sam Darnold.
Easy.
I know. So I'm sorry about that. Sorry, guys. We here at the Worst Case Scenario podcast do not appreciate using the word fuck them.
No, we actually do. We just saying it against former quarterbacks because you got a hatred for them.
Can the Seahawks stop the slide as they travel to Atlanta? I'm going to say no. I'm taking the Falcons. Bennett?
Oh, West Coast on the East. I'm going Falcons too, man.
D'Lo?
Yeah, me too. I'm going Atlanta.
All right, next up. Bengals keep their rolling. They keep it going versus the Browns. I'm going to say yes. I'm taking the Bengals. D'Lo?
Yeah, Bengals. This could be the coming out game for Joe Burrow, man. He could throw 8 touchdowns in this game just
He's
because of
already
the
killing
Browns,
it.
man.
You wouldn't know that asking Bennett. Bennett, who you take? You taking the Browns on this one?
Nah, they're a dumpster fire. I got the Bengals.
All right. Next up, after a week off, what did the Dolphins do? Can the Dolphins get a win on the road versus the Colts? I'm going to say yes. I'm taking the Dolphins. D'Lo, who you taking?
I believe in my picks. I took Indianapolis on this, and I'll stick with that. I just don't have any faith in that Skylar Thompson, and Tua's not ready to come back yet. So
I got no faith in the quarterback of Indy. Who you take, Bennett?
I got faith in Flacco, but I don't think it's going to be. I think Richard's coming back. I'm going with the Southern team in the Dome, the Dolphins.
Awesome.
they're gonna, yeah. I mean, Miami's gonna run the ball like crazy, probably. Especially that Colts defense is so leaky, man. So it could very well, they could very well take it. So,
All right.
like I said, I don't think Skylar Thompson's a good quarterback.
All right. We got the Panthers versus Commanders. I'm taking the Commanders. Who you say, Bennett?
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, for sure, man. Again, Panthers. There's a couple teams, the Panthers and the Patriots and shit like that. They're fighting for that number 1 overall pick. So you won't see many times this year of us picking the Panthers.
All right, next up we got the Rams and Raiders.
I'm gonna go with the LA Rams, man. I still think that the Rams are beat up and they're struggling to get along, but fucking that they're in better shape than the Raiders are right now. The Raiders don't know what the fuck they're doing, so
I'm going with the Rams.
and like I said,
I don't think it's a far off game, but go with the Rams.
yeah.
Bill?
I'm going with the Rams, too.
All right, next up we got the Chiefs and the Niners.
I'm going with the Chiefs. Just they're still there. I mean, until proven otherwise, they're still the best team in the league. And the Niners. I mean, they tend to get it done against teams that don't have that kind of talent. But the Chiefs, they're going to come out. They might even put a good thumping on their Niners, man.
You got Phil.
Well, against what Elmer Fudd just said, I'm going to roll with the 49ers. I believe that they're going to come out and they're going to give the Chiefs their first loss on the season.
I'm going to go with the Niners, too, just because I think Shanahan learned from mistakes from the Super Bowl. It's regular season. Stakes ain't so high. I think he's got a game plan. I think Niners going to give them their first loss.
Yeah, Shanahan's not near as good a coach as Andy Reid, so you guys are fucking idiots, and that's why you guys lose your fucking bets every week.
Is it rabbit season, D'Lo? Wabbit season?
No, it's fucking walrus season. Andy Reid's head's on the plate.
That's right.
Jets and Steelers, guys.
This is the Sunday night game. Another primetime game. And of course, I'm gonna roll with the Jets and listen to the podcast we got after this one, and I'll explain why. Go ahead, D'Lo.
I expect the Jets to get a win here, but it's not because they're a good team. It's because the
rabbit season. Tell them
the Steelers are going to learn that you don't do this switcheroo shit in the middle of the season with quarterbacks. So it's going to fuck them up.
What?
The switcheroo.
The switcheroony.
Switcheroo.
Go ahead, Bennett. Who you taking?
You know what, man? I agree with D'Lo. I totally agree. Fields has been winning no matter what he's been playing like. Don't bring Russell Wilson in there to fucking ruin the thing. But at the same time, Aaron Rodgers is going to throw an interception going to Devontae Adams at the end of the game. And the Steelers are going to pull it out.
So who you taking?
Steelers.
I hate you. And this week we have 2 Monday night games.
Yes, we do. Ravens and Bucks.
D'Lo, you want to go ahead and choose this?
I'm going to go with Baltimore.
I am going to roll with the Bucks and Baker Mayfield.
I also went with Baltimore. They're too strong right now. I do appreciate the Bucks, but Baltimore's just, they got it rolling right now.
And then a shitty Monday night game. Go ahead.
Chargers and Cardinals.
I'm going to go ahead
with the Chargers.
I'm going to take the Cardinals.
Why?
Why? Because it is Brock's birthday on Saturday. So it's his birthday weekend leading into Monday. I'm just going to go ahead and go with the Cardinals for.
Feels like I can't give my kid anything for his birthday, but I'm going to pick his team. Nah, I seen that Nate Diaz say, I'm just fucking with you. Hello? Y'all freeze up? Yep, y'all froze up. Looks like Phil's old lady must have unplugged the internet.
All right, no, go ahead. What now?
I think I'm good.
What up? Yeah, you're back.
All right, my bad. We're gonna. Anything else you guys want to add before we go do the Jet Up Bear Down podcast?
Nope, that was a good one.
I like to add a few more shooters.
Thank God we don't have them. They turn bad, and then you have to delete the podcast.
They're not bananas. I turned bad.
Well, we want to say thank you once again for joining us for another edition of the Worst Case Scenario. This has been a preview of Week 7, a review of Week 6. Please, after this, we're getting ready to start up our new thing that we're going to do where we get to talk about the Jets and the Bears, and that's it. The Jet Up, Bear Down podcast. Anything you guys want to add?
Like, subscribe, share with others, help us out, try to get the channel growing. We promise to be
absolutely
less profane.
All right. Well, that's it. Chad, fuck the Vikings. That's all I got to say on that. Anything from you, D'Lo?
No, man. We'll see y'all on the next one.
See you guys.
Not too bad. Went long, but we